We begin today's show with a thank you to the Kingdom for helping us reach 63,000 subscribers on the channel on last night's watch party. We certainly appreciate you guys, but we don't want to just stop at 63. The run to the playoffs is going to be covered here on the Chiefs Report like no one else as we bring you our daily news and rumors, our live shows on Wednesdays, watch parties on game days, breaking news, like what you're about to see today, in addition to our Q&A mailbags and more. If you want to be a part of the playoff run, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team all season long, all year long, right here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Steven Nelson is making his return to the Kansas City Chiefs, signing with the Chiefs practice squad. Welcome in to this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you with the breaking news coming out just a few moments ago. This news was kind of expected within the last 48 hours or so as we got the update from Ian Rappaport over the weekend that Steven Nelson was visiting the Chiefs on Monday for a potential reunion and stretch run with a top contender. This visit, confirmed by his longtime agent, Josh Arnold, could land Nelson back with the team he started his career with. And after the injury that occurred last night, more on that on Joshua Williams coming up later on in the show, the Chiefs pretty much had no choice. And I'll say this, even though we expected this from the last couple of days with the way momentum was setting up for this still may come as a surprise for Chiefs fans, considering how things ended with Steven Nelson at the end of his first tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs. But from what we've seen from Andy Reid this year, with bringing back guys like Kareem Hunt and Juju Smith-Schuster and others, there has been a door open for former players to come back and make a return, and that door was extended to Steven Nelson despite how things ended back in 2018. Andy Reid said this today in his news conference on Steven Nelson. We'll just see how things work out and see where he's at today. He would be a welcome addition if it all worked out. To me, this is big. To add a player of Steven Nelson's caliber at this late in the ball game. Just 4 games left in the regular season, and then the playoffs from there. You've already locked up a division title. You're in the driver's seat to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I'll say this, when I look at Steven Nelson, the player that he is now compared to who he was when he left Kansas City, I'm honestly not so sure how many people realize just how good of a football player Nelson has been since he left Kansas City. If the visual you have of him is his time in Kansas City, what I would tell you is go watch the highlights, go look at the stats, and we'll show you some numbers here in just a bit. He really elevated his play in the last few seasons, even just last year with the Houston Texans. His play has gotten a lot better than what it was when he was in Kansas City. And it wasn't bad when he was in Kansas City either by any stretch. But if the Chiefs are getting the version of Steven Nelson that we've seen over the last few seasons, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. What is your one-word reaction to Nelson's return to Kansas City? Going full Nelson. Weigh in the comments section, our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. I'll give you my one-word reaction coming up in just a moment. Before we do, today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the best place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered, including tickets to see your Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe you want to head to Lawrence and go watch the Jayhawks, or go to Columbia and see Mizzou, Manhattan, K-State, whatever it may be. Game Time's got all of it, folks. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Then you check out your seat with the seat views, get the 3D visual, see what that seat is like, and then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. And you might even save a lot of money with that first purchase when you look at their super deals. If you see a super deal, you don't want to pass up on that. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. My one word is help. Call an ambulance, but not for the Kansas City Chiefs, as this is a move, folks, that can't hurt you at all. I think what the Chiefs are doing here with Steven Nelson, they are signing a starter caliber corner to the practice squad with the expectation that you give him a week or so to kind of tune up, get a little warm-up period, and then take over the starting corner role in time for the Houston Texans game next week after you play the Cleveland Browns, and you just go from there. That it is a quick process to get him on the field and be an impact player for this home stretch. Nelson, we mentioned previously with the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Eagles, most recently with the Texans. And last season, this is what surprised me, the fact that he was still available. He had a career high of 4 interceptions in 2023, and yet until now, he was unsigned. How does that make sense? 130 games played, 115 starts. And you think about this, too. He's getting the chance to get that ring after moving on from Kansas City after the Chiefs went on the run they've been on. So for him, it's a pretty good deal to join this team now after not getting to be a part of the first few Super Bowls. Here's the statistics from Steven Nelson of what we're talking about here, of what he's done. We mentioned the 4 interceptions last year. Also had 12 pass breakups, which was the most he had in that 4-year stretch. 63 tackles. Pretty much every number except TFLs in 2023 was up compared to what he had done in the seasons prior. In his coverage stats, we've showed you the numbers on guys like Williams and Johnson and others, and we've told you how they're not good. Steven Nelson's numbers, much, much better what he did in 2023. Completion percentage allowed, 61.4%, 657 yards allowed in 17 games played, 1 touchdown. We mentioned the pass breakups and the interceptions. QB rating, 73.3. You compare that to guys like Johnson and Williams, the QB rating allowed for those guys is over 100. So that's a huge difference for Steven Nelson compared to those other guys. The Chiefs CB2, sounded like I'm dyslexic here or something here. The Chiefs cornerback 2 spot has been a dumpster fire, and we're going to be frank with you, ever since the injury to Jalen Watson. All right, it has been bad. And when the Chiefs moved on from L'Jarius Sneed, we know there was going to be some growing pains, that they weren't going to have this position necessarily fixed or solved overnight, that it was going to take some time. Jalen Watson showed some promise. Then he had that injury, and it seems like Watson's done for the year, although he would tell you otherwise. He thinks he could potentially come back, and if he does, that'd be great, and you'd have more depth to this unit. But this, I got to tell you, these guys, they badly need some help with this situation. Joshua Williams got a little banged up last night. Trent McDuffie has been kind of, having to do it all himself. And it's not even just the corners either. The safeties haven't played that great either for this secondary unit for Kansas City at this point. I like what I've seen from Jamari Connor, but my goodness, there's a lot of problems. It is the biggest question mark for the Chiefs defense, and it's not even close. Williams left Sunday's game with a concussion. We don't have any further details just yet on his status, but we'll see what that is going forward. But I would think even if Williams is healthy, that Nelson would start over Williams as far as that goes when it comes to the final games and the playoff stretch and all that. Andy Reid said this a couple days ago when it comes to Williams and Johnson, his 2 young corners. Listen, I'm glad we have both of them. I think both of them can still work in there and do some things. We haven't given up on Najee or any of that sort. I mean, he's coming off a pretty major knee injury, and so we've kind of kept an eye on him with that. I think as we go forward, we can use both of them for sure, and you hope that's the case. Nelson's last game, the 2018 AFC title game against the New England Patriots. So he's been there. He's done that before. He had some controversial things to say about Andy Reid and the Chiefs when he left. But if Andy showed us anything, he is good at burying the hatchet and offering the bridge to some of these players. And Steven Nelson, a little bit older now, still looking for that first championship. I would hope that Steven Nelson comes in with a good attitude and just goes to work and gets the job done, wants to be a part of a playoff run here. It's just simple as that. It's put up or shut up time for Steven Nelson here. How would you grade the Chiefs secondary right now? It's not looking great, but Steven Nelson helps. I'll be generous. I'll go a B-, maybe C+ in there. You still got Trent McDuffie, one of the best corners in football, so that helps. How would you grade the Chiefs secondary? Let us know. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team all year, all season long, right here on the channel. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.